The next question is Assembly Member Pidgeon, and it's about the Met Police Child Protection Inspection and Post-Inspection updates at 301 to you.
Let me start by saying, Chair, that any child who's neglected, abused or exploited is one too many. And it's our duty as politicians, as professionals and as adults to make sure that our children are kept safe. This is why protecting children is at the heart of the new Police and Crime Plan, and why we're investing more in monetary value, time and resource to protect some of our most vulnerable Londoners. We've moved the Met away from overly focusing on a narrow 7 crimes that existed under the previous Mayor, the so-called MOPAC 7. This was a central criticism of the HMIC report on child protection in 2016, so that the police can focus on the significantly more important job of protecting vulnerable people. I know the Commissioner is committed to improving outcomes for children. Given the grave consequences associated with the failure to do so, we have been very clear that changes must be delivered and that we will continue to hold senior leaders to account until they can evidence genuine improvements. Immediately after the report was published, we established a multi-agency child protection oversight group chaired by Deputy Mayor Sophie Linden. The membership includes the MPS, MOPAC, College of Policing, National Police Chiefs, Council Leads, HMIC and the Children's Commissioner. But you're right. Concerns in terms of improved outcomes for children is a concern, and this is something that has been raised relentlessly at the Oversight Group and the Met Oversight Board and directly with the Commissioner. The Child Safeguarding Delivery Group has formally requested that HMICFRS provide ongoing support throughout 2018. HMICFRS are considering this on the proviso that it can be resourced and it would focus on reality testing.
Thank you very much indeed. I've been raising concerns about child safeguarding for many years, but the issues remain. The Inspector's latest quarterly report, so this is from November 2017, shows that 93% of Met investigations into child protection were inadequate and needed improvement. So what action have you taken since November 2017 to assure yourself that improvements will be made quickly?
I have a long list, Chair, of, I'll write to you to save time, of the things we've done, but just to give you, just firstly, it is not good enough. We have continued the oversight, asking the tough questions, but put more structures in place so we can have evidence to demonstrate there's going to be genuine change. What I'm told is that it will take some time, I'm afraid, to turn things around, but your questions highlighted the fact that the police know there are problems, but there doesn't seem to be a swift turnaround as there should be. That's why you're right, as indeed Sophie Linden and I are right, to continue to put pressure on the police. And that's why what I've announced today is new in the sense of asking the HMICFRS to provide the ongoing support so we can have external pressure as well.
Did you read the November 2017 report?
Yes, I did.
You did. I mean, it's shocking. It was shocking to members of the police committee when we were going through it. But
we also had a meeting with the Commissioner and the Deputy to discuss it as well. And as you'll appreciate, the 6 weekly meetings that Sophie Linden chairs is trying to grapple with this. There were I mean, this is not an excuse, but there is some good news in there as well. Doesn't overcome the bad news though.
No. How confident are you that your steering group that you talked about, your child safeguarding group, is fit for purpose in the fact that it only meets every 6 weeks?
Well, because of the people involved, so it has got a high calibre and the right people meeting regularly. That's not the only oversight taking place, but the communication and contact isn't simply on a 6 weekly basis. In between meetings, there's regular conversation and there's regular oversight, and it's one of the things that I raise regularly. To be fair, the Commissioner raises regularly with me when she meets me, as well as me raising it with her.
Well, I welcome the idea that you've got the Inspector hopefully coming in to sit and really hold the feet to the fire on this. But obviously, I appreciate in your original answer some of this is a consequence of the previous administration, but obviously you're coming up to nearly 2 years in post, and the report shows children remain at serious risk across London. So
the context is just the demand and volume of offences is going
shot up, absolutely. But because progress hasn't been good enough, and the Inspector clearly says the Met is not achieving an acceptable level of good results for children in London, what I really want to understand from you is when will Londoners have the child protection service that they can rely on?
I've asked the same question to the Commissioner and others, and they can't give me a date. And there's a good reason why they can't, because the volume and complexity of issues is going up, and the systemic changes take some time. Shortage of detectives. They've trained 6,500 officers to be specially trained, but it's in the context of the other cuts the police are facing. The good news, though, is now a priority, whereas it wasn't in the past. The good news now is that the Commissioner, senior officers are taking personal responsibility and accountability for this issue, and Sophie's chairing this group, but we'll carry on revisiting this to make sure we get progress. I can't give you a date because the experts can't give me a date.
But I am encouraged that you personally have been getting behind this, and it's something we were concerned last week when we questioned MOPAC. But have you got any idea when you would expect the Met's child abuse investigations to start to really have turned the corner and to be fit for purpose?
So we've got the officers who've been trained. We're bringing in new detectives. We're still just, I think, across the organisation about 750 short. We've done the direct entry recruitment. That's less than 200. So we're still short detectives. So we're training up other officers. The oversight is taking place. I'm confident that the Commission understands how seriously we take this. I'm confident that she takes it seriously as well. Where I'm less confident is the ability for a big organisation to completely change its emphasis and stuff. And these are vulnerable young people who sometimes don't articulate their concerns. But as you said, in 93% of the cases, that can't be used as an excuse because, as you've said, 90% of the cases they were identified.
Thank you very much.